will start, I want to introduce the founder and executive director of Access California Services.
Thank you very much. I'm honored tonight to see all of you here supporting Access California Services. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, family, sponsors, I'm Nadal Abraham, the founder and the executive director of Access California Services. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you here tonight in celebrations of 6 years of continuous success and support the Arab American and the Muslim community. We are humbled this evening with the presence of Judge James Cato of Los Angeles Superior Court, Maha Frage, Chief Financial Officers of Access Michigan, as well as several honored guests who will receive awards here this evening. Thank you very much for coming. It's an honor to have you all supporting Access. We started Access in 1998, continue to serve the community in many avenues and social service. And we are here tonight with your support to continue on our mission, our vision to support our community. Thank you very much for coming. Please enjoy the dinner. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. Yes, much better. Peace be upon all of you. My name is Ahmed Abdo. I'm an Access California board member. Welcome, everyone. My job for the evening is to introduce the MC for the evening. And I'm honored to do so because he's a good friend of mine and he's very funny. But my fellow board members only gave me 3 minutes to do it in. That's not gonna work out for me, because I love to talk. In fact, I created this position just to get up here. So naturally, I asked for 20 minutes, but I got denied. So I'm gonna make this very short and sweet. For all you single Muslim women, he is tall, he is dark, he is handsome, and he's single. And if he's not single and married, that's okay. And you know why it's okay? Because he's a Muslim. He can have 4 wives. He's been seen on ABC's The View. He's been interviewed many times, like on CNN with Paula Zahn, the LA Times, and I think the FBI. He was the first recipient of the Richard Pryor Award, given by Richard Pryor himself. He's been on the hit MTV show Punk with Ashton Kutcher. He's also been in some movies, like The Executive Decision. He's also been on some TV shows, like Roseanne, In Living Color. But if you haven't seen him there, you can catch him at the world-famous Comedy Store in Los Angeles, where he's there every Friday and Saturday night. But most importantly, his name is so nice, they named him twice. Please help me welcome Ahmed Ahmed.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Just for the record, everything that Ahmed just said were his words, not mine. That was embarrassing, but thank you. Welcome to the Access Gala dinner, and I'd like to thank Nahla and her son Ahmed. Please give them a round of applause for putting this thing together. It's so nice to see this many Arabs and Muslims in one room. So welcome to our meeting. I want to thank Judy Mader over here. Give her a round of applause for helping out. Judy over here. Judy, can you stand up for a second so people can just, please, a big round of applause for her. All her friends are Arab and all my friends are white, so I said we get along great. I'd like to start out by saying that people don't realize there's a lot of difference between Arabs and Muslims. The difference is, most Arabs are Muslim, but most Muslims are not Arab. We all know the difference, right? The difference is Arabs go, ha ha ha, and Muslims go, that's not funny. That is not funny, Ahmed, that is haram. It's such a bad time to be from the Middle East and be Muslim, it seems like. In fact, I read a statistic on CBS.com that said right after September 11th, hate crimes against Arabs and Muslims went up over 1,000%, which apparently still put us in 4th place behind blacks, gays, and Jews. Can you guys believe that? So what do we have to do? Thank you. All the white people got that joke. That's good. Just by a round of applause, how many white people are here tonight? White people, let me hear you. Seems like there's more white people than there are Muslims. Oh, this is going to be very uncomfortable. That's what we want. Uncomfortable, awkward humor amongst Arabs and Muslims, right? We're good at making ourselves laugh, aren't we? I got a lot of, anybody see this show on MTV called Punk'd? Anybody? Haram. I had a lot of conservative Muslim brothers and sisters get mad at me for being on that show. I got to work on the show, and I got to play regular characters. Not a terrorist, not a cab driver. It's a great show, but a lot of Muslim brothers got mad at me. They said, Ahmad, I saw you on the show Punk'd for MTV. That is haram, that is against Islam. Then what are you doing watching it if it's against Islam? I live in Hollywood, California. Hollywood, California. Anybody live in Hollywood, California here? Just me. Hollywood, California. Land of the Jews. Any Jews here? Perfect. Come on. It's going to get funnier. Just keep eating the cheesecake. Living in Hollywood, California as a Muslim is a little strange because I have a lot of people that I work with that are all Jews. And my non-Jewish and non-Muslim friends say, Ahmed, how do you have so many Jewish friends? What about the Jews, the Muslims, the war and the hate, all this stuff going on in the Middle East? I'm like, look, man, if you think about it, both Jews and Muslims have more in common than any other religion ever. Both Jews and Muslims don't eat pork. We don't celebrate Christmas. We both use in our pronunciation. We both yell on the phone when there's no emergency. Really, the only difference between Muslims and Jews is that Jews never like to spend any money, and Muslims never have any money to spend. That's the only difference between them. So if you go to google.com, my name really is Ahmed. It's not a stage name. My parents actually named me Ahmed, and I can't fly anywhere. It's the worst. You guys too? Go home tonight. You can punch in my name, Ahmed, on the google.com. It comes up on the FBI's most wanted list. Like Ahmed was saying earlier. Twice. Comes up on the FBI's most wanted list. Such a bad time. It's gotten so bad, I got to get to the airport 6 weeks before my flight. You know, they're always doing those random checks. I'm like, when I fly, I always get checked. How random is that? Well, Mr. Ahmed, you're a selectee. I like to consider myself chosen. Thank you. I was actually pulled off the plane. Any Muslims ever been pulled off the plane? 2 people over there? Are you just clapping because you feel sorry for me, Ahmed? True story, I was flying United Airlines a couple of months after September 11th. Somebody from the ticket counter walks over. Mr. Ahmed, we hate to do this to you, but we're going to have to pull you off the plane. We have some questions we'd like to ask you. I go, that's fine. I know what's going on in the world. My name's Ahmed. I'm from the Middle East. I'm Muslim. I've got everything going against me. But I'll comply. I know what's going on. I'm getting out of my seat. There's 2 guys sitting next to me. I thought he was Mexican. We were sitting next to Al-Qaeda the whole time. I said, hey, I'll be right back. Just save my peanuts. 2 security guards escorted me down to the ticket counter. I show the woman my ID. I get the same reaction every time she does one of these. Mr. Ahmed, where are you flying this afternoon? So I looked at her and I said, I have a one-way ticket to paradise, my friend. I'm going to Hawaii. Mr. Ahmed, did you pack your bags yourself? Yes. Anybody ask you to carry anything since you've been in the airport? Nope. Have your bags left your site since you've been in the airport? Nope. You're under arrest. Code red. We've got a situation at Terminal 4. Code red, situation at Terminal 4. And he's a hairy one. Get over here quickly. Terminal 4, we'll be right there. We're still searching this black guy, this gay guy, and this Jew. And I was in a rush. I was trying to catch my flight because I'm always running late. But I can't be angry, Arab, Muslim. I can't be like, yeah, let me on the plane right now. I can't be like that. So I took a deep breath and I exhaled. I went to the woman. I said, excuse me, miss. I'm trying to catch my flight. I'm running really behind. I've been here for a month and a half. Can we move this process along? What's your rush, Mr. Ahmed? What's your rush, huh? Why are you trying to get on the plane so quickly? What's your rush? I have a show. What kind of show? Mr. Ahmed, I'm a comedian. Oh, you're a comedian. He's a comedian. Is that so? Say something funny. I just graduated from flight school. Fun for the whole family. I ordered my ticket online, and they have these new categories for the meals. You can when you order your meals online, they have kosher, vegetarian, vegan. They have the new Muslim meal because they want to know who's on the plane. They never had that before 9/11. Now they got the Muslim meal. I'm sitting down. We're getting ready to take off. The woman walks over, makes a big production out of it. Mr. Ahmed, you ordered the Muslim meal. It was a piece of pita bread with a slice of tomato and a slice of onion. I said, I'm Muslim, not vegetarian. Right? I made the mistake of flying Southwest Airlines. Anybody fly Southwest Airlines in here? Why don't they just call it Ghetto Airlines? We don't care air. They're cheap. They're so cheap, when I got on the plane, the pilot asked me for gas money. Okay, now that you guys are all, your brothers and sisters, you're all warmed up? Everybody warmed up, yeah? Yeah? We're gonna start this event here. I'd like to welcome you once again. My name is Ahmed, and I will be your master of ceremony for the evening. So bear with me, and don't leave, because I'll make fun of you. If you. Okay, great. That was an awkward moment again. I'm gonna come back up and tell more jokes in between, so are you guys okay with that? Okay. It's my pleasure and honor to introduce not only a good friend, but he's been a supporter. He's been in our corner. There's a couple of us Middle Eastern comedians and artists in Los Angeles that have worked together, and this gentleman and brother has been in our corner, and he's a great man, and he's on the board of directors for Access. Please welcome Nadal Abraham, everybody.
Assalamu alaikum. That's all I ever wanted in life, huh? To follow a comedian on stage. No pressure, though, right? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nadal Abraham, and I'm a board member of Access California Services. On behalf of the board, the executive staff, and all the wonderful people that make Access California Services what it is, I want to welcome you to our first annual gala. At Access California Services, we're committed to helping Arab Americans and American Muslims, whether they are making the transition from their native country, get this right, whether they are making the transition from their native country or whether they're just in need of a helping hand during a particularly difficult time in their lives. We try to help everyone who walks in the door, whether they are Arab Americans who happen to be Christian or Arab Americans who happen to be Muslim. We help Muslims regardless of where they are from, whether they are from the Middle East, Southeast Asia, our own backyard, or anywhere else. You know, I wish there had been an Access California Services when I was lucky enough to have immigrated to this country back in 1976. I recall being thrown into class in school, essentially to sink or swim. There was no English as a second language, and there certainly wasn't an Access California Services or any organization that could help ease the transition. I remember looking around at my strange new environment and trying to understand what everyone was saying. My first words in English, well, it was "me no speak English." The teacher would ask, "Where's your homework, Nadal?" And I would look up at her and say, "Me no speak English." "Are you ready for the test, Nadal?" And I would look up at her and say, "Me no speak English." That didn't work for too long. I remember clearly, though, how difficult things were back when we first got here. I recall being asked at the age of 16, as a terrified teenager, being asked to speak in front of a planning commission or city council meeting as my dad sought permits for a business. I recall having to fill out various medical records and interpret for my parents. And I recall having to learn to navigate the welfare system when our economic prospects deteriorated in the late 1970s. That is why today I'm honored to be a board member of Access California Services. I know how important this organization is. I know how integral its mission is, and I know how absolutely indispensable Access California Services is to the many people who walk into its doors each and every day. There are many people here who share this belief. Among them, and joining us tonight, are some public officials who honor us with their presence. I would like to recognize them. On behalf of Assembly Member Todd Spitzer, we have Anahita Ramat from the City of Orange. On behalf of the 4th District of Orange County Board Supervisor Chris Norby, we have Bruce Whitaker. Thank Thank you. We have Joanne Sokowski, Chief of Protocol for the County of Orange. Richard Chavez, Mayor Pro Tem and a councilman with the City of Anaheim. Lori Galloway, a councilwoman with the City of Anaheim. We have John Welter, Chief of Police for the City of Anaheim. And of course, we have our keynote speaker tonight, Judge James Caro. These people and countless others who were not able to be here tonight are so important to helping us accomplish our mission of helping people. Thank you all for your friendship, your support of Access California Services goals and endeavors, and your camaraderie to the entire community during these turbulent political times. We're off to a good start on what promises to be a wonderful night. And I would now like to thank some of the key organizations that have been absolutely instrumental in making tonight possible. As we seek to grow Access California Services and expand our abilities to serve the community, we recognize that we must have the support of the business sector. Among Access California Services supporters are some of the foremost companies in Southern California who exemplify the importance of corporate citizenship and the involvement in their communities. Accordingly, I would like to recognize and thank Dr. and Mrs. Ray Rani and Occidental Petroleum, the folks at Southern California Edison, Arabic Radio and Television, or ART as they're better known, and the Dish Network, HealthNet, Dana Investments, Blue Cross of California, the California Endowment, FTR, Sasha Cosmetics, and TransTour Express. We also have some individuals who have been especially gracious to us. Dr. Ray Jallo and Dr. and Mrs. Walid Khadoumi. You are among the leaders in lending corporate support to Access California Services. As such, we recognize your efforts and thank you, hoping that other such like-minded corporate citizens will follow your example in the future. Thank you.
It's now my pleasure and honor to introduce the Honorable Judge James Cato of the Los Angeles Superior Court. Judge Cato immigrated to the United States in 1950. He earned a degree from the University of California at Berkeley and a Juris Doctor degree from the University of Southern California. He served in the United States Army and the Army Reserve. He was appointed to the LA Municipal Court and then was elected and then re-elected to the LA Superior Court, where he now serves. As most of you know, he's a very active member in the community. Please welcome Judge Cato.
For those of you that have heard me speak before, I usually begin with a joke, but tonight I made a deal with Ahmed. He doesn't give serious speeches, and I won't tell any jokes. Honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Mr. Ahmed, for your kind introduction. I am indeed pleased and honored to be addressing such a fine gathering this evening. I want to commend, as many before me have, and congratulate the members and officers of the Access organization for the distinguished work that they have been doing on behalf of the Arab American and Muslim communities in enhancing the quality of life and increasing their participation in the social and political fabric of this great country. As you have heard Mr. Ahmed say, America is my adopted country, as it is for many of you. I am proud to be an American, and I love this country. I love it for the opportunities that it has given me, you, and our forefathers to grow and find our place in the sun. Through hard work, dedication, and sacrifice, we have become leaders of industry, doctors, lawyers, judges, teachers, and many other occupations. The 2000 census conducted by the Census Bureau shows that people of Arab descent living in the United States tend to be better educated and wealthier than other Americans. Arabs are nearly twice as likely to have college degrees as the typical US resident. The percentage is 41% to 24%. That same census also shows that there are about 1.2 million US residents whose ancestry is solely or partly Arab. I know from a personal experience that that figure is understated, because my fellow Lebanese alone claim that they number over 2 million. I give you these figures to show you that we are no longer just an immigrant community, but we have come a fundamental part of the American democratic fabric and society. But democracy is a work in process and needs to be attended to, and American democracy is no different. Since September 11, we, as members of this community, have been treated unfairly on occasions, even when we're not getting on the planes, even by the government which is entrusted with protecting us. Laws have been passed curtailing our civil liberties. We have been subjected to stereotyping and to racial profiling, a new word that they have invented for us. Yes, democracy is not perfect. However, as Winston Churchill has said, democracy is a bad form of government except for all the others who are much worse. Our task, therefore, is not to shrink from the challenge that is ahead of us. We must exercise the privileges available to us in this great democracy by participating more than ever in the political process at every level. We must stay in touch with our representatives in government, both federal and state. I can't tell you how happy I am tonight to see members of the City Council and the Police Department participating so that they get to know us and we get to know them. We must get involved in the campaign processes, in raising funds for candidates, participating in debates, hosting fundraisers, backing candidates, and becoming more visible as a community. Thank you. On the social and cultural level, we have much to contribute to America and to American society. We are the descendants of a proud and ancient civilization and culture. Arab hospitality is a legendary trait that comes across the ages. Our dedication to our children, our attachment to our extended family, our concern for the care of our elderly are but a few of the qualities that have distinguished our communities here and in the countries of our origin. To me, there are no sweeter words in any language than the words sitto and jiddo. And tonight, I want to leave you with this thought that only by being active politically and socially can we ensure for ourselves and for our children and grandchildren the visions of the founding fathers of this nation, of a democracy where all men are created equal and governments exist to promote civil liberties and justice for all. Thank you very much.
One more time for Judge Cato, please. I agree with the judge about being active politically and socially. I also believe we should be artistically involved. And so I've taken it upon myself to create a TV show that'll break down the stereotypes of Arabs and Muslims. It's called Everybody Loves Ramadan. And it's okay, moving right along. I have 1 billion of them. Okay, maybe 3, but that's it. With us tonight, we're delighted to have Maha Frej, Chief Financial Officer of Access Michigan, and a great friend to Access in California. She currently oversees a budget of over $12 million from over 70 funding sources. A most important contribution to Access California has been her introduction and implementation of philanthropy to the culture of Access and its supporters. Ms. Frej, is now leading a 3-pronged fundraising effort to result in an Arab American National Museum, which I believe is going to open April 5th. I'm sorry, May 5th? May 5th, inshallah. Huh? At 5 in the afternoon, that's right. The 5th of May at 5 in the evening. 5. That's 15. A comprehensive health and research center and a family youth center. So we're pleased to have her support and her presence here tonight. Please welcome Ms. Maha Frej, everybody.
Thank you so much. I want to thank Access California Services, its board and its staff for allowing me to come today and share with you the work that Access is doing as a leading human service provider for the Arab American community in the nation. Before I start sharing with you our work and how we've been developing in the last 34 years of our existence, I wanted to recognize our lifetime board member, Dr. Barbara Aswad, who really is a founder of Access. And I would like also to recognize a member of the National Advisory Board of the Arab American National Museum, Dr. Raymond Jallo. I'm here today because we believe in the work of institutionalizing in our community. I mean, we have a lot of organizations that did a lot of good work. They had a lot of talented people. I, for one, was very active working with the Union of Palestinian Women in the 90s. And after a while, you know, the whole work was gone. The whole thing that we did was gone. And the question that we ask ourselves is always why? I mean, the the reason for our existence is still there. I mean, the Palestinian question is not resolved. I don't know what's wrong with this. Ahmed, you cursed this. Great. Now it's working. Thank you. So we believe in institutionalizing our work. Institutionalizing our work means that we need to build organizations that have checks and balances in them, that have budgets, that have boards, that have volunteers, organizations that will not go away just because there are certain emotions that might come or go. And that's the work that Access is doing, and that's the work that we would like to establish around the country with existing organizations that are providing human services to the Arab American community and that are community-based oriented, like the Access California services. Access started 34 years ago, and it started as a volunteer organization. And for the first, I would say 10 years of its existence, since 1971 till the beginning of the 80s, it worked strictly based on volunteers. In the 80s, there was one defining moment where one of the leading volunteers in the organization said, how about we go and we ask the city for a grant? We are a community that has a presence in Dearborn. The city of Dearborn should give us some money to run certain programs, and we should be treated like the rest of the communities that are living in the city of Dearborn. And that was the beginning for having a huge amount of diversity in terms of funding at Access. Access right now receives over $12 million from, I would say, 80 different funding sources that come from across the spectrum of the funding providers. That includes government funding from federal, state, county, city, to foundations money, to corporate money, to individuals. And at the same time, we grew from an organization that was working strictly with volunteers to an organization that employs 180 employees right now. So we are very proud of that, and we are very proud of all the accomplishments that we have been doing. We believe that providing social services and human services will take a person from a position where he is, how would I say, not that he's not independent, that he's dependent on something, a new immigrant or somebody who's low income. We take them from that position and we're making them totally independent people. And we do that through different services that we provide, from health to employment and training, to social services, mental health services, cultural arts, etc. The paradigm shift that happened at Access, I would say, happened about 8 years ago, where we've been a leading nonprofit in Michigan. We knew that. We are a regional provider. We don't only serve the Arab American community. We serve the whole community at large, whether they are Arab Americans or Americans. And we always did really good. We had very good reputation with the funding sources. However, our funding was always restricted. It came from funding sources that had a contract with us. So we didn't have a lot of unrestricted funding. About 8 years ago, we started looking at the world and saying, we need to build ourselves in a totally different way. Our future should be built based on the future that we see for ourselves and not based on reaction to certain realities that are happening to the Arab American community. And we said we are a 501c3, we are a nonprofit organization, and in this country, nonprofit organizations attract a lot of funding that is unrestricted through emphasizing their philanthropic programs. And we started for the first time implementing, going to the community, to the corporate community, and to the foundation community, and talking to them about funding access for capital expansions and endowment expansions, and not for only programs. We completed our first campaign in 1999. That was a mainstream campaign, and it was $4 million. It was the talk of the mainstream community because we finished it in 9 months and we really didn't know what we were doing. And right now we are engaged in a $20.6 million campaign to produce a first ever Arab American National Museum, a community health and research center, and a youth center in Dearborn, Michigan. We completed the health center already. It's up and running, and it serves about 30,000 people. And we are going to open the Arab American National Museum on May 5, 2005. We would like you to join us. This is the first museum of its kind in the nation. There are 15,000 museums in the United States of America. None of them documents and talks about the history and the contributions of Arab Americans. It's about time that we tell our story the way we see it and not let other people tell our story and then complain about it. So we act in a way where we take responsibility. We are not complainers. We are not going to listen to the Fox News and sit down and cry. We are creating our own future, and we are telling our own story, and this is only a start. The other thing that we are doing, oh, by the way, we raised so far $17 million towards the $20.6 million, and we are very, very proud of that. And if you know the jumps that we are having, you will know why we're so proud, because $17 million is not a lot of money. That's not where we want to be. We have much more ambitions than this. But if you can relate to the facts that Access only 7 years ago never got more than $20,000 from any corporation for unrestricted funding, and it was from Ford Motor Company, which we are in their backyard, gave us $400,000 in the first campaign we did because we asked them. I mean, we always did a good job, we just never asked. We didn't think we can ask. And for this campaign, in a very bad economy, they gave us $2 million, which was the lead gift to have all the others come through, and for Daimler and GM to give $1 million each, and for energy companies and banks in Detroit to give us $500,000 each, et cetera, et cetera. We are opening a lot of doors. We opened some doors in the Arab world through this campaign. We attracted support for the Arab American National Museum from a national audience. Over 1,600 people gave over $3.5 million to this campaign. We grew in a way where 7 years ago, the largest gift from an individual in the Arab American community that was given to Access was $2,000, and it was from Riyad Shatil. I'm sure you all know him because you buy his sweets. He sells a lot to California. Well, that was because it was left up to him what to give. Now we don't leave how much people should give to them. We just go and we ask them, we cultivate them, and then we ask for what we want to ask. And right now we're at a level where we have a donor. The largest donation from an individual is $250,000. An Arab American gave us $250,000. We have over 100 gifts for this campaign that are between $5,000 to $250,000, and we are very, very proud of that. The last piece I want to talk about is 2 years ago, we started thinking, where do we go? I mean, we already provide services to 50,000 people. We do a very good job. We provide over 500,000 contacts to these people. So what do? We add another program? We said, no, we have to really play a role. We are going to be players. We are going to play in the middle of the court, and we are not going to sit on the stand and just look at other people playing. We are going to be in the middle of it. And we looked around us and we saw that there is an Arab American community that is pretty weak. I mean, things are happening around us and we're looking at them. And we believe in the issue of institutionalizing. So the first thing we did is we decided to build this Arab American National Museum. The second thing that is extremely revolutionary, and that's why I'm here today, is creating a network of human service Arab American community-based organization around the country. We have 10 community-based human service providers to the Arab American community from across the nation in 9 states that came together, and all what we are doing with them, they are totally independent. They are not us, we are not them. Access California is part of that network, and we're very proud to be working with them because they are really running very, very fast and implementing a lot of the techniques and the fundraising techniques that were shared during the meetings that we did in these network meetings. What we do through these network meetings, basically, is that we provide technical assistance to these groups. We don't want them to wait 34 years the way we waited 34 years. We believe that the community will never become strong unless its organizations, its institutions at the grassroots level in their own communities are strong. It's not enough to work in Washington, D.C. Where we need to work is in the communities where there are large concentrations of Arab Americans. We need to work with the cities that we live in. We need to work with the state. We need to be players. We need to be known, and we cannot stay isolated. We have to become part of the quilt and to be engaged in what's happening around us, to be a provider of services, to serve on boards, to invite the mainstream community to get to know us. And we identified 10 of these organizations across the country who have some checks and balances, who have a 501c3 status, who have working boards. And we started working with them on how to fundraise, technical assistance in terms of capacity building, how to build a board, how to build your membership, and we started sharing also programs because we learn from each other. And for that, I am here today because I can see where Access California Services is going and where it's heading. This is their first event, and you all should be very, very proud of this accomplishment, and I really thank you for all of your support. Thank you very much, and be generous with them, and be generous with the museum too.
Okay, is everybody ready for the video? We have a video presentation. Our understanding of the work that is done at Access and its accompanying need for your continued support will now be presented in a fine video kindly prepared by Nadal Suleiman.
The following is not a dramatization nor fiction. These are true stories of real people living among us.
My husband, he has a cancer like for 1 year, and suddenly he's, at night time.
Aywa! Aywa! You might run for president one day. I'm not even joking about that. That was very touching to see. I didn't know that you helped all those people. So, how about one more round of applause for Nahla and all her volunteers? I don't want to forget the beautiful girls that were walking around with the raffle tickets. Nobody acknowledged them, so give them a round of applause. Did everybody get a raffle ticket or tickets? Did you sell all the raffle tickets, or are there still some available? Huh? There's still some available? Okay, so you all know what you have to do. Reach into your pocketbooks, reach into your purses, buy 10 raffle tickets for 20 bucks, and you too can go to the Middle East from which you came. More awkward humor coming up. Huh? Oh, yeah, it's a one-way ticket, by the way. Careful. The chief of police is here. I want to go to the next segment of one of the reasons why we're all here, and this is the fundraising part of the event, so nobody leave. One of the ways we're going to start the fundraising is a little bit later. As we close the event, I am going to proceed to perform some more material that I have prepared for you. Yes, imagine that. And what I'm going to be doing after the event is I brought some CDs, they're comedy CDs, that I brought with me that will be for sale outside. 50% of the proceeds will go back to Access. I'm very proud of the CD. There are two versions. There's a censored version that's squeaky clean, fun for the whole family. It was recorded especially for children and Muslims. And there's another one that's a little bit more fun. Huh? Punk rock, yeah. A little bit edgier. I'm not quite sure what you said. I'm going to get in trouble later. So. At any rate, the title of the CD is called Ahmed, I Believe I Can't Fly. So pick one up after the event. It's imperative that we continue the aid of Arab American Muslim communities by providing resources and services. And Access California is the first organization ever to help our own people. Before, all the aid went to countries and places overseas. Now, to continue this essential work, we need to help and support our own people. It's that time, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's that time to pull out your checkbooks and get ready, because I'm about to introduce one of our contributors and the vice president of the Orange County Democratic Party. Please welcome Miss Rima Nashashibi.
Thank you so much. My name is Rima Nashashibi, and I'm the Vice Chair of the Democratic Party in Orange County. Honored guests, awardees, sisters and brothers, thank you all for coming. And we know you took away from your busy schedules to be here with us tonight, and we really appreciate it. That tells us how much you care about Access, the vision of Access, and the mission of Access. Dr. Musa Nasser was slated to be here with me tonight at the podium to help with the fundraising. However, he regrets very much that he could not share this evening with you because he had 2 deaths in his extended family. He left this morning to go to Fresno to be at the funeral of If Mahmoud Aranki, and he will return to comfort the family of Marwan Aranki, who succumbed to a long fight with cancer, who just passed away 4 months after his dad passed away, and he has left 3 preteen young boys. You know, today we have a goal, and the goal is not as big as what Ms. Fraish told us that they have in Dearborn. They have a fantastic goal, and they're going to achieve bigger. Today's goal is just $150,000. Compared to $17 million, is not that much. And when Dr. Musa Nasser and Mrs. Sohaila Nasser called and they said, Rima, I'm sorry we can't be with you here tonight. Can you do it on your own? I said, I won't be here on my own. I'm going to have all these fine people helping me reach the goal of $150,000. We've all heard about Access, and we all heard the great services that they provide. One fine example of the services they provide happened to me personally. A friend of mine who's a physician, he's an endocrinologist and a cardiologist. He had a patient who just came in from Lebanon, and he was suffering not only from a cardiac situation, but he also had suffered from pancreatic cancer. He used to live here, he went to Lebanon, and he came back. Well, guess what? He does not have medical insurance at this time. And I gave Nahla's name to Dr. Jumayel, and Dr. Jumayel gave it to the patient, and the patient called Nahla. And with Nahla's support and her staff, within a week and a half, they got him medical insurance. While he was battling the pancreatic cancer, he was first hospitalized at UCLA, then at UCI, and you know how much these institutions cost. So when you have a service, when you have an organization or employees that can fight this fight with you and provide you with these services, it's fantastic. You know our culture, we have other situations where in our culture, the family comes here, an immigrant family, the husband works and the wife is helping rear up the kids and pull their family life together. And then all of a sudden, the husband dies for one reason or another. And then the wife cannot speak English, she does not have a vocation, she does not have a job to fall back on. Well, fortunately now we have Access, and such families can go to Access now and say, you know, we need help. I don't have, my husband has passed away, I do not have any means of support. And with such example of our Ds and others in the community that we have tonight, we've been able to find shelter for such families. While I'm telling you about the services, what I would like you to do is there's envelopes on the tables. I'm sure you've noticed the envelopes on the tables. We have a lot of volunteers going around in each section. Please dig deep in your pockets and put in as much as you can. The great fundraisers are not just large amounts from few people. It's a lot of small amounts from a whole lot of people because it's coming from the heart. And that's what we'd like to see tonight. Also, if you're interested in hosting a coffee clutch like what Maria talked about, the first one we held was at her house, we collected around $1,500. But $1,500 every weekend or every Saturday and Sunday comes up to a whole lot of money. So if you're interested in hosting any of these coffee clutches in the envelopes, please put in your information and put in that you're interested in hosting a coffee clutch, in addition to the check. Now the checks will all be going to Maria, who will be tallying up the figures. But let's see if we can here. We have some goals that we'd like to achieve tonight. Let me give you some projects. For example, Access would like to hire a therapist to help with the family in as far as like domestic violence or cultural conflict or youth at risk. And that licensed therapist will cost them between $30,000 to $50,000, depending on the qualification of this therapist. Do I have anybody from the people here who will take it upon themselves to cover the expense of the therapist? Do I have someone who's willing to contribute $50,000 to cover the expense of the therapist? What I would like also to do is thank all the elected officials that came in tonight. We thank you for your support, and you know we have a lot of busy schedule. And you've been very supportive in the community. Richard Chavez, our mayor pro tem, has extremely supportive of the community, not only in attending functions, however, when the community needed him, especially with all the problems that occurred in Anaheim, he was there for us. And now Lori Galloway, the city councilwoman, has been doing the same thing. Supervisor Chris Norby's office has also been very supportive of the community whenever there is a problem, whenever there's something that we need their help for, they're always there for us. As you know, we had the tragedy of Bassem Schmidt and the killing of the young man Bassem Schmidt, and the killer was still at large. We went to Chris Norby's office, Supervisor Lucaria's office, and a lot of other elected officials, such like Loretta Sanchez and others, in order to put the pressure on the sheriff and the district attorney in order to get the perpetrator. And they were very, very supportive. We thank them for their support. Richard, Lori, and Chris Norby's office. Richard, thank you. Thank you very much for your support.
Everybody, how about a round of applause for Rima to come up here and do the fundraising? Come on, make some noise for her. This is not easy. It's very difficult to come up here and ask Arabs for money. So reach into your pockets. We're going to continue to fundraise for the rest of the evening. You don't have to drop off an envelope over here. You could do it on the way out. You could be anonymous. If you want, you can send the checks to my address, and I'll make sure it gets there. That was very, very brave of Rima, right, Nahla? I want to know if anybody else in the room has a better strategy of fundraising. And if they do, I invite you to come up here. Anybody have a better strategy? I guess not. Okay. Before I forget, on your tables, there's an envelope on the flower, the wild orchid. What do you call it? The butterfly orchid? Does everybody see the envelope on in the middle of their table? Yes. If you'd like to bid on the centerpiece in the middle of your table, you can do so. Just write the amount of the bid, and at the end of the evening, the highest bidder will place the money in the envelope, and you get to take these lovely flowers home. Is anybody interested in taking these lovely flowers home? Just one person in the corner. Ladies in the back, gentlemen in the back, is anybody interested in these lovely butterfly orchids? If nobody takes these orchids home, I'm going to take them home and plant them in my mother's garden. Okay. Yes, take the envelope, fill it out. $1, $10, $100, $1,000. We've come to the part of the evening where we'd like to introduce our distinguished presenters. Since this is our first gala, we have some catching up to do with the awards. Is everybody ready for the awards part of the ceremony? May I hear a round of applause, please? I think I need a louder applause. Is everybody ready for the awards part of the ceremony? Huh? As I said before, and as Rima said, it's important to donate to the organization. So anonymously, please put your donations in an envelope and drop it off out front or over here to the cashiers. May I please have your attention, please, while I ask all the presenters to come to the stage, come forward to the stage. Does everybody know who they are? Judge Cato. The Outstanding Philanthropy Award will be presented by Mr. Bruce Whitaker. For Chris Norby, Orange County Supervisor of the 4th District. Please welcome Mr. Bruce Whitaker, everybody. Give him a round of applause. May I have all the presenters here, please? Is everybody here? Dr. Omar Alfi, are you in the room? Dr. Omar Alfi, please give him a round of applause. I don't know if you all know this, but this guy saved my life when I was 6 months old. Can I tell them the story? My mother made me some full medemes that was bad, and I ate it, and I started getting sick, and I got allergic to it. And this is a true story. This is no joke. Dr. Alfi, my mother took me to Dr. Alfi, and he saved my life. Wallahi. So I owe him my life. Who else are we missing? Miss Lori Galloway, are you in there? There you are. Okay, is everybody's here? So, I think you can go first.
In my courtroom, I'm used to quiet. Otherwise, you get 30 days in jail. As a lawyer and as a judge, I have always maintained that the legal profession is truly a profession to be of service to mankind, not just a means to make money. It's my pleasure to present the following award to Nancy Rimsha. Nancy has been an attorney at the Legal Aid Society of Orange County since June of 1989. Her practice included advocacy for clients in federal, state, and county government benefit programs. In her position as directing attorney of Legal Aid's Health Consumer Action Center, Ms. Rimsha has generously aided our clients not only in instances of health care-related disputes, but also in many areas which are not her prime area of responsibility: housing, unemployment, social security, general relief, and more. Her generosity in helping those most in need of legal services and least able to acquire them makes us very happy to present Nancy Rimsha with the Excellence of Service Award for the year 2005. Nancy.
Thank you so much. It's lovely. It's wonderful.
Now it's your turn.
Can I say a little?
Yes, please.
I just want to say, first of all, thank you so much to the organization. But I've had the privilege for 18 years to have a wonderful, wonderful job where I get to help people who really do need assistance in trying to understand our complicated government programs and structure and how to obtain benefits that they're entitled to. Many, many disabled people, many people who need health care and health coverage, and it's not easy to qualify for these things, even when you're disabled and you're very needy. And Access California does a wonderful job of helping people, but sometimes you need the next level of representation at a hearing or some other government process. The other wonderful thing about my job is that I get to meet people like Nala Kayali, who is not only building bridges as her wonderful conference that she sponsored for the community a few months ago, but she truly is an ambassador from your community to the rest of us who work in all of the government and public agencies and nonprofits. We all know her, and she in 6 years has done an amazing job of establishing a very, very respected community organization that is recognized by all of us as an effective member of our community. So I look forward to us working together through into the future. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I'd like to introduce the next presenter, He's presenting the Outstanding Philanthropy Award. It'll be presented by Mr. Bruce Whitaker in place of Chris Norby, Orange County Supervisor of the 4th District. Please give him a hand.
Yes, good evening. Thank you very much for the invitation. I'm proud to welcome all of you, not only to the fine city of Anaheim, but also to the 4th District of Orange County. Supervisor Chris Norby proudly represents Anaheim, Buena Park, Fullerton, La Habra, and Placentia. And I'm pleased this evening to present the Outstanding Philanthropist Award to Mrs. Esmeralda Alfi. Esmeralda Alfi is an active Esmeralda Alfi is an active and leading figure of the Arab American and American Muslim communities in Southern California. She has dedicated her life to educating, supporting, and empowering the community through her involvement in countless organizations and boards, including the Bureau of Islamic and Arabic Education, the New Horizon Education Council, the Islamic Catholic Dialogue, and the Interfaith Dialogue. Mrs. Alfi also contributes her time to the National Council, the Association for Supervision and Curriculum Development, and the National Capital Language Resource Center. Mrs. Alfi has been an active advocate and supporter of Access California services. For her shining example and pivotal role in the development of the community, Mrs. Esmeralda Alfi is recognized as the Outstanding Philanthropist of 2005.
I promised I will not say anything. I promised that to my table. I'll say only thank you.
To present the Humanitarian Award is Mr. Richard Chavez, Mayor Pro Tem of the City of Anaheim. Please give him a round of applause.
Well, thank you very much. Before we present the award and I announce the winner, I want to tell you as the Mayor Pro Tem how proud I am to be here tonight and how exciting this is on this first event for Access. I realize how important Access is to the community in its entirety. And what a vital part of the community the Arab and Muslim communities are. So thank you very much. Thank you. This year's Humanitarian Award, this first year, goes to Mr. Aziz Mali. If we can have Mr. Mali come up here. As he's walking up, I'll tell you a little bit about him. Mr. Mali is being honored tonight for his exemplary work and dedication in caring for his fellow man. An avowed humanitarian, Mr. Mali has been at the forefront of Access California Services efforts to help families in distress. As an example, Mr. Mali recently cooperated with Access California Services to help fund 1 year's rent for a widow and her 3 children. That's very kind. Isn't that wonderful? Additionally, Mr. Mali has proved to be very generous with his time and resources, including hosting donor information meetings at his home. It is with this great honor that we present Aziz Mali with the Humanitarian Award of 2005.
Assalamu alaikum. I want to thank the Academy, all the small people. I couldn't do this without my friends and family. This award belongs to them as well. And also I want to thank Nahla for giving me the opportunity to donate and to help this organization. And I pledge I'll continue on, and I wish everybody else would do too. Thank you. Salam.
Okay, moving right along, the first presenter of a Visionary Award is the man who saved my life, Dr. Omar Alfi. Please give him a round of applause.
I'm very honored and happy to present the first Visionary Award for the year 2005 to Sister Regina Fox. Sister Regina Fox she is of the School Sisters of Notre Dame. She is helping non-profit organizations and small groups to fulfill their objectives, to plan their capital, and to have their vision ahead of them. It's my honor to present the award to Sister Fox.
In deference to an earlier honoree, I am going to say thank you, also respecting the wishes of our table. Thank you very much.
This Visionary Award will be presented by Miss Lori Galloway, City Council Member of Anaheim. Please give her a round of applause.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm so honored to present the Visionary Award to the Community Action Partnership of Orange County, to Connie Jones. The Community Action Partnership of Orange County serves persons at or below the federal poverty guidelines. In furthering their 40 years of enhancing the quality of life in Orange County by giving many kids aid to promote the self-sufficiency of those in need, the Community Action Partnership was instrumental in the formation of Access California with funding, advice, and support. Their vision of assisting Access California in providing service to a then unserved community in our midst was crucial to the beginning of service to the needy in the Southern California Arab American and American Muslim communities. With their guidance and support, Access was given a wonderful opportunity to succeed. Connie Jones, the chairman of the Community Action Partnership Board, will accept the 2005 Access California Visionary Award, given with great gratitude.
Good evening to you all. It is indeed a privilege and a pleasure to accept this award. We're on behalf of Community Action Partnership. It's a pleasure that we were able to help plant that seed. But as you look at that plant on your table, when you plant a seed, you need someone to nurture that seed. And that's what Nala has done. And so what it shows me is that she has turned something like this into a beautiful butterfly orchid. And as butterflies do, they fly. And that's what Nala does. She flies wherever she can to raise funds to help her community. Thank you.
Talking to me? Okay. I'd like to thank you all for being patient. The third and final Visionary Award will be presented by the Access Board of Directors, Miss Judy Mather. Please give her a hand.
Maha Frege has told you many things already tonight about Access. But what she didn't tell you was that at a time when Access California, then known as Care Our Us, was about to suspend services due to a lack of funding, Access Michigan, through their formation of the Arab American Resource Corporation, was willing to rescue us. In addition, they assisted us in accessing the AmeriCorps program, by which we have received salary support and development funds. On behalf of Access California Services, we honor Access Michigan with our Visionary Award and wish them every success in guiding and supporting the American Arab community.
It's a distinct pleasure to be here and to see how far you've come. We had many years of struggle in Dearborn. I've been on it for 34 years, and you've come so much farther, so much faster than we have. And thank you very much. It's a great pleasure to be here, and good luck. Keep up the great work.
Please welcome Nahla. She'd like to say a few words.
We thank all the recipients of receiving the award, and to be honest with you, it's not only me, it's a teamwork that we serve the community. Yes, we have a vision, we have a mission, but it's a work plan, and we're serving the community with dignity. Thank you very much. Ahmed is gonna continue with us tonight. We really appreciate your coming and your support, and we will see you next year. Come on, Ahmed. We have a fun night tonight with Ahmed, right? Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, how about one more round of applause for all the recipients you saw tonight that were here? This is the raffle? We're doing the raffle now.
That's not your mom's ticket?
Okay, ready? Does everybody have their tickets? Who is the lucky winner? The number is 512477. 512477. Are you the winner? Huh? You are? We have a winner, everybody. Come on up.
Where's the envelope? Where's the envelope?
I don't know.
You have the envelope?
No, nobody gave it to me. Nobody gave it to me.
It's an airline ticket. Congratulations. It's an airline ticket from Transtour.
It's an airline ticket from Transtour Express, anywhere in London or the Middle East, Amman, Cairo. Where are you going to go?
Actually, I'm going to go to London.
Tell everybody why you're going to London.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm going to London this summer. Okay. I'm so lucky. Thank you.
We have an envelope for you. We don't have it on us, but we have it for you.
We have an envelope.
Is that it? That's
Yes.
the raffle? I want to talk about being raised Muslim. I talk about being raised Muslim because I was raised Muslim. And it wasn't easy being raised Muslim. It's a difficult, heavy religion when you're growing up. And my parents used to, when you're raised Muslim and your parents are praying 5 times a day, as a child, you don't know how to explain it to your friends. My American friends would come in while my mother and father were in mid-prayer and say, "Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Ahmed, what'd you lose? What's going on? What did they lose? What's going on?" I said, "Shh, they're praying." To who? That will probably sink in later. My mother walks around saying, "Inshallah, inshallah, inshallah," after everything. So my friend Tyrone was in my house one afternoon, and he heard my mom say the phrase, "Inshallah," and he asked what it meant, so I told him. So he's walking around my house. He said, "Yo, Ahmed, man, check this out, check this out, check this out. I'm gonna be real rich and famous one of these days. I'm gonna buy me a nice house in the hills and a shiny Mercedes Benz. Sha-la-la." I'm like, "No, Tyrone, it's pronounced Inshallah." "Yeah, I know, sha-la-la. You got your way of saying it, I got mine." My black friends always think I'm like mixed. They always think I have cream in my coffee. I can hear them talking in the corner of the room. "Yo, man, my boy's got cream in his coffee." "Yo, what's your name, fool?" "Ahmed." "Ahmed?" "Ahmed." "Well, where you from, man?" "I'm from Egypt." "You from Egypt?" "Yo, salam alaikum, brother, salam alaikum." See, we both the same. We both from Mother Africa. We both from the motherland. I'm like, "No, you're from Detroit, Michigan. We already talked about that. I got thrown in jail. This is a true story. The day before the election, they arrested, detained, and profiled 10,000 some odd Arabs and Muslims. I don't know if you guys read this. The day before the election, and I was one of them who got arrested. It was a really weird experience because I was flying on Frontier Airlines and they wouldn't let me get on my plane. It's a true story. And there was a white cop and a black cop that walked up to me. The black cop was cool. He come up to me and he says, "Yo, man, now you know what it's like to be a black man in the 60s. I wasn't even alive in the 60s. White cop comes over, grabs my wrist, says, "Are you resisting arrest?" I said, "I didn't know I was being arrested." He says, "I'm going to ask you one more time, are you resisting arrest?" I said, no, officer. Handcuffs me, walks me through the airport very slowly, showcasing me as if to say, hey, I got one. They took me to jail on the charges of airport rules, whatever that means. The people in jail didn't even know what it meant. I got my blood test, I got my new pictures taken, my thumbprints. They made me sit down with a jail psychologist who asked me a bunch of questions why I think I got arrested. Maybe it has something to do with my inner self. I said, ma'am, you watch way too much Dr. Phil. They put me in a holding cell for 12 hours with the cast members from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Just the creepiest people were in my cell. There was one guy twitching in the corner. There was a tall Indian guy staring at me. There was another guy playing in the palm of his hand like he had a little toy, but there was nothing there.